Council will have a report out.
No reportable action. Thank you.
Thank you. So, now's the time for members of the public to address us on any issue not on the agenda this afternoon. I have a number of speaker cards, and I'll just call your name out. I assume they're all for public comment. Otherwise, you can inform me otherwise, and then I'll call you based on what agenda item you want to address. First up is Barbara Barragan-Parilla. Good afternoon, Ms. Parilla.
Today, I would like to Chair Estromera, JPA board members. Today, I would like to remind the DC-DCA of Water Code Section 850589, Provision B. Construction of new Delta conveyance facilities should not be initiated until the Joint Powers Authority representing those entities have made arrangements for Section B, full mitigation of property tax or assessments by local governments or special districts for land used in the construction, location, mitigation, or operation of new Delta conveyance facilities. This process hasn't been completed, and it speaks to a broader issue. Dozens of permits and processes presently that are legally required remain incomplete. Yet this body is approving contracts in the tens of millions of dollars to move forward with the project. We still do not have a fully fleshed out financial plan for the tunnels. I want to remind the DC-DCA that Delta County supervisors, assembly members, state senators, local district officials, and mayors represent the people of the Delta. We are very concerned because we hear of rumors about meetings between JPA members and select members of the Delta community to work through issues regarding water fix. Elected officials represent the people of the Delta. Even our organization with 60,000 followers does not represent the local government interests of the Delta. We understand that past meetings have occurred, a dinner here, a meeting there. We expect to see minutes from community meetings and for proper public notice of such meetings before they are held. Last, the video for this meeting in particular is regularly intermittent for the public. There's no video archive. There is no video service for the DCFA. Water Fix is the second largest public works project in California. There are good government groups from throughout the state that want to understand what it is that you are doing. If Water Fix is as good as you all claim it is, then you should want meetings to be transparent. It's time for you to take a page out of the High-Speed Rail Authority playbook and to provide video services for all meetings and to create a video archive. The people of California have a right to know what it is you're planning, the impacts on water supplies, on the environment, and on finances. Thank you.
Thank you. Kurt Terrace?
Good afternoon, members of the board, staff members. My name is Captain Kurt Terrace. I'm a veteran business owner of Infrastructure Improvement Incorporated. We submitted a proposal in response to your RFQ for Program Manager Services. Our proposal was reviewed and received, was well prepared. We spent about a month preparing it, and we received a letter saying that we were disqualified because we lacked the required experience. We have thus submitted a letter highlighting the experience we listed in our proposal, which shows that we have members with 25 years experience as licensed professional engineers, MBAs, lawyers, bar certified lawyers that are here and ready to serve you as your program manager. It was surprising to us that we were disqualified right off the gate. We expected to at least get ranked, reviewed. We carry veteran certified business certification, which would be of use to you. We're well respected in the community of Northern California and Southern California as honest deliverers of major infrastructure projects, and we'd really like to work with you. I was on the fence about even coming to address you, but I want to show you how determined I am to do things, and we'll be as determined for you as we are to make sure we pass your process. It may have been a glitch, it may have been an oversight. Based on conversations with your procurement team, it was really a matter of terminology. They were nitpicking resumes and saying, well, this person doesn't have this title in this year, and going back 15 years, 25 years. We have it, we highlighted it, and we'd like to work for you. So please consider our protest and put us back in as a responsive, qualified bidder. We'd appreciate it, and the rest of the community would as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain. Seth Jane?
Yeah, good afternoon, members of the board and staff, and Captain Kurt, thank you for your service to the country, a fellow veteran. My name's Seth Jane. I'm a disabled Army veteran. I now own Sierra Geotech. We're a geotechnical engineering services firm here in California. And since September, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak to you guys. And I've been standing regularly here at this podium with only one request to the board, and that is to make disabled veteran business enterprise participation mandatory in all engineering service contracts. Last year, we were told that a DVBE participation policy is in the works and that the policy would be ready by December 2018. To my knowledge, such a policy is yet to be adopted. If the policy is in fact ready, I thank the board and the staff for their commitment towards the disabled veteran community in California, and I kindly request a copy of the policy. If the policy is not yet ready, thank you for working on it, and I request the board and staff to please give us an update on that policy. Despite all the delays in adopting a disabled veteran participation policy by the Delta Conveyance Authority, I've not lost hope, and I know several disabled veteran-owned engineering firms that are also equally hopeful. By the time for such a policy to be implemented is running out. Several large engineering design service contracts have already been awarded without DVBE participation requirements. Members of the board, I know that there's a tremendous amount of work on your plate. I get that. And I sincerely thank you for your public service in delivering the iconic Water Fix project. No matter how difficult it is for me to be here on a regular basis, and thank you for hearing the same message every time. I apologize for being redundant. I'll continue to be here as much as possible. And that's because I know that a robust DVBE policy will give many disabled veteran-owned engineering firms like ours a level playing field, and that's really why I'm standing here before you guys today. I'm not just standing here representing myself, but there's a large disabled veteran engineering community that would be honored to participate in California. Having the disabled veteran business enterprise participation goals, for whatever reason, is just often overlooked now. And you guys are in a position to make a really big difference, and I thank you in advance for the difference that you could make for myself and fellow veteran-owned business, specifically disabled veteran businesses. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Jane.
Thank
We
you,
did
sir.
adopt the policy of the interim director.
Yes.
Respond just very quickly.
There was a small business enterprise, disabled veteran business enterprise policy that was adopted. I honestly can't remember if it was the November or December meeting, but it is
December.
posted on our
December meeting.
December.
Okay, December. It is posted among our documents on our website, and it has been incorporated into all of the major contracts that have been signed since that time, even though it was not part of the original proposal package.
Okay, but you can get it online. Thank you, Mr. Jane. Then Whaley?
Good afternoon. My name's Dan Whaley. I'm a resident of Cortland,
and I have a business and a location in the town of Hood. I would just like to thank our veterans. I apologize for their misunderstanding in characterizing this as an iconic project. This is a horrific project that will destroy the Delta. Destroy the Delta. The Delta in California is equal to the beauty of Yosemite, and there is no possible way that you can install these tunnels and not destroy the Delta. You're also not a public entity. You're a private entity that's trying to figure out how to make money on this deal, and we do not want you in our community. Please do not come to us and try and dissuade those who are not knowledgeable about this project. We will fight hard. We will fight to the end. We are Winston Churchill on the Delta, and we will come together and we will oppose your project to the very end. And we will use every means possible, politically and financially. There is plenty of ways to conserve water and get enough water to Los Angeles. I just did an analysis on a toilet system. You can save 3 gallons per flush by going to a high-pressure toilet. With 30 million people in California, we can conserve enough water to supply Southern California and the farmers of the southern area without this horrific project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whaley. Those are all the requests that I have. Right, there's another one. If there are any others, could you please come forward and hand them over to the clerk so we'll call you and have you come up and address us. Thanks, Richard. OSHA Meserve?
Good afternoon. Hello, yes, my name is OSHA Meserve, and I'm an attorney working for various Delta interests. I represent local agencies of the North Delta, which is a coalition of reclamation and water districts in the North Delta. Also in the litigation regarding the environmental review and other aspects of the project, I work for 4 of the 5 Delta counties and for all 5 of the counties in the validation action. So I'm very familiar with the project and all the hurdles in front of it. And I am watching very carefully what you all are doing here, and I agree with many of the comments made by Ms. Berrigan-Perilla and as well as Mr. Whaley, that this is not the project to pursue. I want to let you know I was in Los Angeles on Monday at a green technology conference where the Delta tunnels were on a panel. First of all, I disagree. This is green technology. It's not green technology to simply take water from one part of the state to another. That's 18th century thinking, and it's not forward thinking, and I don't think any engineering firm or other company should be proud to come trample an area and take fresh water out of the Delta before it can flow through and put it through 40-foot pipes and call that a green infrastructure. It's just not. Instead, I would look to things that the city of Los Angeles and Mayor Garcetti are working on, what they call a new Mulholland moment, where they look and they see, how can we create water out of what we have? How do we create water without crushing communities, without destroying fisheries, without destroying wildlife? There's no way to put a project this large in this location without doing all those things. And I was listening to a lecture by our local Professor McCafferty, who's an expert on water law throughout the world. And he said a very simple thing that I think that needs to be kept in mind here. He said, when very large water projects are put in and you take water from one area to the other, it's always a conflict. It doesn't matter whether it's in California, in Israel, in Africa, I don't care where you are. If you go to one area and you siphon off that water and you take it, whether it's 3,500, 200, 1,000 miles, it creates conflict. This project will not solve anything. It won't fix anything. It will create conflict now, like it has been, and into the future forever if it was built. And so there is not a smooth path forward. There's dozens of permits that still need to be done. Your ratepayers would be so much better served if we could get together and that we were in a place where we could all meet and talk about solutions that would meet your ratepayers and the public's concerns and that would not destroy the Delta, both as the communities and also environment. I want to point out, there's not one environmental organization that I have heard of that supports this project. There is zero environmental support. There's zero local support. There's zero local benefits. So this project gets a big zero. There's other projects that we all could work on together, and I still think we should talk about that. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Missouri. Did no one else to address us on any issues not on the agenda? We'll move right along then to the 7 discussion items. Consider the minute order authorizing executive director to negotiate and execute a lease for office space at 400 R Street in Sacramento.
President Estremera, the staff would like to ask you to delete this item. We're not ready to talk about it yet, and we'll agendize it at a later time.
Great, will do. The next one is consider a minute order authorizing the board president to execute an agreement with management partners for professional services for long-term executive director.
Thank you, President Estremera. As the board is aware, you went through a recruitment process for a long-term executive director services. Pleased to say that that process has been completed, and before you is an action item to approve management partners as the executive director. Management partners will designate Catherine Mallon as the executive director. This has been a long process, and staff is very excited to put this item before you today.
I'll make a motion to approve that recommendation of authorizing our board president to execute an agreement with management partners for professional services with Catherine Malone.
Second.
And before the board votes,
Yes.
I apologize, just one last thing. For any member of the audience, a copy of the agreement along with the compensation terms are in the back of the room. Thank you, board.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay. No questions, then those for the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Abstentions? Okay, motion passes unanimously. We'll move right along to verbal reports.
I only have
Executive
one.
Director.
Ms. Stephanie Morris, our
Yeah.
interim general counsel, has moved on to greener pastures, and our contract with Best and Krieger has been amended so that our new interim general counsel is Joshua Nelson, who's here today. He will continue in that role until the board awards a long-term general counsel contract, which we see happening within the next 3 months or so.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you,
Mr.
excited
Nelson.
to be here.
Thank you, Judge. Anything from June?
I have no comments. Thank you, George.
Okay, we've reviewed both of your written reports at our last meeting last week. So there be nothing new. We'll move right along to adjournment. Any requests for anything on the agenda besides what we've talked about? Okay, well, in that case then we'll be ready for adjournment. We'll see you all at our next regularly scheduled meeting. Thank you for your attendance.